Welcome to Sunshine Cathedral's Queer God Squad. It's Wednesday, February 12th, 2025. I am Bishop Darrell Watkins, the senior minister here at Sunshine Cathedral. With me today is Sunshine Cathedral's executive minister. He's also my husband, Bishop Robert Griffin, and Sunshine Cathedral's Minister of Connections, the Reverend Dr. Ann Atwell, and Sunshine Cathedral's Minister of Education, Reverend Kevin Tisdall. Visit sunshinecathedral.org to learn more about our progressive faith community and how you can be a part of it no matter where you live in the world. And if you live in South Florida, be sure to check out the Sunshine Cathedral Center for the Performing Arts, offering entertainment for the LGBTQ+ community to benefit the LGBTQ+ community. Queer God Squad was created by Hotspots Happening Out to support our mission to explore the value of faith in the LGBTQ community. In 2025, we are celebrating the 40th anniversary of Hotspots Magazine, the 5th anniversary of Queer News Tonight, and we produced the 25th anniversary of Stonewall Pride Parade and Festival on June 14th. We're the largest nonprofit LGBTQ media organization in America, and we encourage you to support our mission to inform, entertain, and educate our community and allies. If you enjoy the Queer God Squad, please share this or other episodes with your friends, family, and social media communities. This is the Sunshine Cathedral Perspective. Let's talk about a trailblazing Black, queer, and blues legend, Alberta Hunter. Alberta Hunter began her career as a blues singer and songwriter. She also appeared in the 1928 London production of Showboat and was also in the film Radio Parade of 1935. A steady stream of successful recordings in the 1920s made her a star in the United States and in Europe, where she often performed in nightclubs. Her song Downhearted Blues was made famous by Bessie Smith. Hunter led the first African American USO tours in the 40s and early 50s. During the 1920s, Hunter began a relationship with Lottie Tyler, the niece of actor and comedian Bert Williams. Tyler and Hunter were together until Tyler died in 1960. Alberta Hunter retired from performing in the late 1950s and became a nurse for 20 years, but then experienced a career renaissance in the 1970s, performing and recording until she died in 1984. I didn't even discover her until she was dead. I think I discovered like 87, 88, 89. And, she died in 84. And I was so mad. I hate when that happens, when I just missed it. You know what I mean? And so I've never gotten, I got to see Nancy Wilson in concert, and that was amazing.
Yes.
So, before, they're still around, you want to get them. And I didn't even know about her until it was too late. Oh my gosh, I hate that so much. But I fell in love with her and still am to this day. There's some documentaries about her. Go to YouTube, search for her, learn about her. She was fascinating. She retired from singing when she was about 50. And then, got back into it in her 70s until she died in her mid-80s. Well, so what is she going to do when she's not singing anymore? Well, she decided to become a nurse.
Yeah.
And in those days, they could be mean about things, like they wouldn't let women do certain things, or wouldn't let old people do certain things, or they wouldn't let people with disabilities, or whatever, pregnant moms. There were all these ways to discriminate. And so she lied about her age to get into nursing school.
Wow. Wow.
Became a nurse and worked for 20 years as a nurse. and then went back to singing in clubs, especially New Orleans. But she would tour, and she was just amazing. She got at least one album in her, while she was in her 80s. And then the one of the documentary about her, she did, like, it wasn't just about her, she was in it. And so, and what I loved about her also is that she's from a time that was very sexy, but also where people acted like they didn't like sexy. So it had to be coded. And she was so good, like Mae West and Sophie Tucker. And so she was so good at Ma Rainey, and she's in that age, that time. And so she would sing about, my man is such a handyman. And then every time she's talking about her, all the things he does around the house for her, about, tapping her damper down, or making sure that she had, he put his rocks in her glass for her vodka soda or whatever. Like everything was double entendre, and she sings this whole song about my man is such a handyman. My favorite song of hers is "The Castle's Rockin'," and it's basically about, it's just, you stop by, my house, the castle's rocking. It's basically a house party. You remember house parties?
Yes,
like rent parties or whatever. And so it's basically that. This is ongoing. Basically, it's an unlicensed juke joint, but it's her house. And so she's like, "Come on by. The drinks are free." Well, the drinks are free because there's a cover charge. And right. So come on in. The drinks are free, and and don't worry about it because this is during prohibition. So don't worry about it. I'm paying the boys for protection, and every time, like, don't worry about it because it's something for protection. And like one time, it's the boys for protection, and the last time she says, "Don't worry about it because I'm paying the cops for protection." She was amazing, and she said one time towards the end of her life and career, she said, people today, they'll take some beautiful ballad and sing it slow and think it's the blues. She said, "No, that's just a song you're singing slow." The blues comes from experience and from your life or whatever. So it's not just singing slow. So she was fun. And that she was openly bisexual at a time where that just wasn't done. And she performed in Europe, but she didn't move to Europe. Some people moved to Europe for safety, following the Harlem Renaissance or whatever. But she stuck around and became a nurse and did her thing. But really, and she took no kind of care of herself. If she had taken a vitamin, she might have lived to be 100. But she smoked, she drank hard liquor. And so my friend of mine who's a speech pathologist did her thesis on Alberta Hunter's voice. And her proposal was, her thesis was that genetics must play a part in it because she did nothing right to preserve her voice, but was singing at 84 and it may have been stronger than when she was younger. When she sings in her 20s about it doesn't matter after dark. Like she was saying, I'll be with anybody because when you turn the lights out, what's the difference? And so, right. And so, but her voice was kind of squeaky, like just high and squeaky. Whereas, and she was like, "Oh, I want a two-fisted, double-jointed, rough and ready man." I mean, she was just this big. So the hypothesis was that genetics must play a part because she didn't try. No, she didn't try, but she just stayed strong and fabulous, singing without notes, without music, without lyrics. Just it's all up here. She was a wonder.
Well, I'm glad we're doing Alberta Hunter in Black History Month because she's one of the icon singers. I grew up kind of on Alberta Hunter. It's like one of those people that you heard all the siblings would play these. I didn't know who they were. I didn't care who they were. But you got stuck on the voice because her voice is also kind of gospel-esque a little bit as well with her musical singing. But it wasn't until much later that, you walk out on the deck at our house now, the first thing you're going to hear on Alexa's playing, "Alexa, play me some Alberta Hunter." So, and she goes right into it. And so I appreciate her life, especially like being the bisexual, being out at a time when it wasn't safe to be out, and also just owning who she was too. I mean, being the USO shows. I mean, that was not a place that a lot of black folks went to begin with, unless you might have been Sammy Davis Jr. or one of those people. But, here's this woman that's doing USO shows and being invited, and probably Bob Hope and all those other guys, but leading her life out loud and proud and just leaving her music to legacy. I've heard other people try to imitate her. No. There's only one Alberta Hunter, and that's her.
And who knew? I've known for a long time now, but that one of Bessie Smith's big hits was a cover of Alberta Hunter songs. She'd already written it and recorded it. Bessie Smith did it, and it did better for her. But it was a cover of Alberta Hunter.
Yeah. Gotta love music.
All right. Well, I've got some news for you.
What?
I met Alberta.
No, you did not.
Didn't. Yes, I did.
Wow.
Yes, I did.
Sometime my goodness.
I was in my mid-20s.
At the Cotton Club in Harlem?
No. It was what was funny was it was a teeny little club down in the Village. And
wow.
I was dating this guy at the time, and he says to me, "I'm taking you someplace to meet somebody that you just need to know."
And this was before the nursing years.
No, this was after. You're just mean. Mean.
Wow.
No, this was in the late 70s, and I go in there, and there's this older woman, and she's got this voice where,
right?
I'm like, oh shit, this is great. And then he says to her when she's finished, come on over, I want you to meet somebody. So we sat and we had a conversation. Wow. So I'm in my early 20s, he's in his mid 30s, and she says to him, well, baby, don't let him go. So yeah, I am in love, have been in love with her since.
Wow, she's one of the aunties. Wow. in our queer family, she's one of the aunties.
Yes.
Did you know? Have you heard about her earlier?
Never.
Never.
Never. And I'm truly sorry for that. But that is one of the reasons that I love the Queer God Squad, because of these stories and the enthusiasm that you have. And then Robert says, when you come to my house and, out on the patio or out on the porch, you're going to hear this. And then Kevin says, I've met her.
I knew her.
And now I have a homework assignment. Yes. And now I have to go home and find out about Alberta Hunter. And I can't wait to do that.
I can't imagine her with a squeaky voice, though, because, she was guttural.
Early on.
Early. And that may have been about recording quality too, so who knows? But it was I love older her for sure. And that her lover of decades was the niece of a famous comedian, a vaudevillian comic and actor. And so anyway, fascinating. So yay for Black History, yay for queer Black history, and yay for Auntie Alberta.
All right.
Well, that's today with the Queer God Squad.
Before we go, we want to invite you to join Sunshine Cathedral on a wonderful travel experience and help our mission for our community. Join us on the Florida AIDS Walk Pride Cruise. This unique 3-day cruise will sail from Miami on the $1 billion and ultra-deluxe 170,000-ton MSC Seascape on November 2nd, 2025. The cruise is for the Florida AIDS Walk. Your participation helps 13 vital beneficiaries in our community. The cruise is an incredible value, starting at just $199, and is also a fundraiser for the Sunshine Cathedral. Parties, special events, and more aboard, including a special unlimited beverage and open bar with Wi-Fi for all 3 days for just $68. We invite you to join us on this amazing cruise for fun. This vital cruise for good.
We want to thank you for joining us. We're here daily at 3 p.m. to have some fun and discuss what our LGBT community is talking about. Sunshine Cathedral is the world's leading progressive queer church. Progressive, queer, and God are words that naturally should go together.
We all are in this together. Remember that.
You are God's miracle, not God's mistake. Until next time, we are the Queer God Squad. Goodbye.